What's cracking with you people? Anansi here and welcome back to Star Fox Adventures. In the last one, we found Prince Tricky and led him safely back to Thorntail Hollow. And this one, Tricky ran off to see his mom because his mom appears very, very unwell.
The white grub tub only grow inside the ancient well.
Okay, random bit of trivia, but okay. And now we have a sharp claw here. Interesting. And there we go. So yeah, so we're gonna keep moving on. So yeah, so last episode we went on about well, we eventually got to the tangent about how Dinosaur Planet became Star Fox Adventures, and I want to make one last addition to that tangent, if I may. It's really interesting because I honestly think that of the two stories that I've heard, I believe that that Miyamoto made a suggestion that they should make it a Star Fox game instead of a instead of their own game makes more sense, just because of the fact that they still kind of regret the decision to make a Star Fox rather than going off of a suggestion, a stray suggestion anyway. But yeah, so I think it's interesting, and I will be talking more and more about this point as we go through, just to really ram home how this game isn't that bad, but it is jarring for a Star Fox game. Anyway, in we go!
I'm here, guys. Mission accomplished. Contact General Pepper so we can get paid.
She is gonna be okay, isn't she, Fox?
Are you sure you finished down there? The planet's not back together yet.
The Queen needs my help. Fox out. Is there anything we can do for her?
We need to find white grub tubs. My mom gives them to me when I'm not feeling well.
It looks like she'll need a lot. Let's take a look around, see what we can find.
Ah, so that's what that was. So, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of prematurely ran into that guy. Ooh, ominous music. All the sharp fall around. So let's do, yeah. So what we're gonna do is, instead of going to find white grub tubs like we're supposed to, I'm going to find a little bit of cash, because there are a few things I want to show off in the shop now that we have a larger scarab bag, and that involves a little bit of extra cash. So we got room for 4 more. I forget what the max amount of blue grub tubs you can hold are. I think it's 20. I want to say it's 20. It could be 15. Regardless, it's more than enough for this particular game. You're not for this game. You're not. I don't think you're ever going to need to be maxed out on blue grub tubs at all. I just don't. So we're gonna go in here. Oh, but the obvious music I think is only playing for this particular section anyway. But yeah, so yeah, Star Fox Adventure. I might as well go ahead and make mention of my experience with this game. I actually got this game with my GameCube when it first came out. My parents bought me this, and they bought me this with, this is 20 scarabs, so we want to get a Bombadil holder.
You pay this much.
Let's go.
No, that's too low.
Okay, let's do it.
No, that's too low.
Like I said, there's no real point in trying to haggle with this person, just because you're just not going to do it. But yeah, my parents got me a GameCube and 3 games with it. This is the Bombadil bag. Allows you to carry a maximum of 10 Bombadils. What's this here? This is, oh right, we already got that. So this is high def display.
You pay this much.
Now, can I haggle this down?
No, that's too low.
The reason I'm haggling this one down is because
Okay, I'll sell it to you.
I haggled this one down for one specific reason. This is our high def display. This is Fox's high def display device. Slippy airdropped it to you, but the shopkeeper got it first, so that's why you've had to buy it. The shopkeeper never misses a chance to get scarabs. Press Z to bring up the display, and use C6 to zoom in and out. So you do this right here, and that right there. Tricky's ball. We'll get that later, because there actually is a reason when to get that. A golden root. I wonder if we've heard that one before. This is Cape Claw map. This is a Firefly Lantern. This is a Crystal Palace map. This is Ocean Force Point. This is Dragon. I'm trying to look for one more thing in here if I can find it. I might be in the wrong place. But yeah, my parents got me that, and they got 3 games with it. Metroid Prime, which was a game that for the longest time I did not like because I was too dumb to figure out how to advance after the initial stages. Well, after the initial prologue stage anyway. And it's not there. I think over here, right over here. And it was, Metroid Prime, Star Fox Adventures, and Star Wars Rogue Squadron 2. I guess there is no map for. Well, we will be coming back for these maps just because you're going because you're going. It would help to have these maps. Which I'll probably end up doing off screen, or as we get the Scarabus for it. Actually, what's back here? There's something back here, I believe. Right, this is for something else entirely. Okay, my bad. So yeah, yeah, they got me those 3 games. And I believe later on we got Mario Kart Double Dash. But either way, I remember I got this game and I booted it up. And I believe the reason why my dad got me this game wasn't because hit the wrong button. Wasn't because I was a big Star Fox fan. Honestly, I was more of a Star Wars fan than anything else. So him getting me a Star Wars game made more sense. It was that I remember we saw this game in a I saw it demoing back when they did that in like random supermarkets and whatnot, where they have like display cases for games and they would just be playing a demo of the game. Well, I forget what the name of this place was. It shut down long ago.
You stay here, I'll go search down there.
But I need to help my mom.
And you will be by staying out there.
Okay, Fox, but hurry up. My mom looked real bad.
But I forget the name. I forget the name of the place, but it's been closed down long ago now. I believe it's a Harris Teeter now. I don't know that. Well, in America, there is a supermarket called Harris Teeter. I believe that's what they built. That's what the complex. You can knock that out like that. Do that right there. Do that right there. And I'm trying to remember if I remember what it's called, but I don't believe I can. But the long and short of it is, yeah, I wouldn't need some bomb flowers here for this one. But the long and the short of it is this: I saw it demoing, and it was the opening level of Crystal. I didn't realize it was a Star Fox game at the time, and honestly, I'm not certain why I'm not certain why. It's actually pretty obvious in retrospect because it looked nothing like a Star Fox game. But the demo was pretty short. I was able to do the opening boss fight, and that was it because my dad pulled me to the back of the store for something. I forgot what. We ended up buying like a Star Wars Separatist droid blaster water gun. So there's that. And I guess I came back to it more than once, and he just kind of figured I liked it, and he got it for me. Another upgrade point. Now, what do we get this time around? This is the Staff Rocket Boost. Look out for special boost pads on the ground. They are used to give your staff extra rocket power to lift you off the ground and onto ledges above. This is a pretty nifty utility upgrade, and we will have to go back to certain areas to use it. And excuse me, and you think you wouldn't get much use out of it, but it is a surprisingly used upgrade, if incredibly situational. And by situational, I mean you're not going to use it during a boss fight. You're more than likely going to be using it just for puzzle solving. which is fine. I think that's perfectly fine. This is a rocket boost pad. Use the staff boost upgrade in your C inventory when next to this pad to boost up to the ledge above. Now you just do this, and you have to hold it down and take a decent chunk of energy. But yeah, so in my honest opinion, I find that the I'll just put in a boost pad around here somewhere. I find that Star Fox Adventure, it is my second Star Fox game. I've only ever played 2 Star Fox games. I only ever played 1 Star Fox game to this point. I've played 3 Star Fox games in my life. That would be Star Fox Advent. That would be Star Fox 64 from the old N64. It was a really fun game. I will not deny that. And Star Fox Adventures and Star Fox Assault. With Star Fox Assault being my personal favorite of the series. Which, when we get around to that one, I'll be explaining why. But it's a big but here. Oh, I missed one. How did I do that? Up. Okay, so one problem with this game, and it's a problem that a lot of Zelda-esque games have, is that the auto jump really just needs to not be a thing. I do not like auto jumping at all. But yeah, I played those 3 games, and in 64, I remember I could never beat the hard route on it. I always managed to get to the brain. I would always manage to get to the brain, and as my brother will never let me forget, I'd have to call him to help me beat it. I could probably beat it now, no problem, but he'll never let me live it down. It's gotten so bad that he says I couldn't beat video games without his help, and they only ever had the one game to point to say so. So yeah, but regardless, I played Adventure, and I played Star Fox Adventures, and I never got a chance to beat it because I had a friend growing up. Well, I say friend, turns out to do with a kleptomaniac who, guess what, stole from people. And how he would do it is he would steal the discs out of the cases so he could carry them around. Guy stole my copy of Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. And yes, before anyone asks, I am one of the guys who like the prequel series. I think they're pretty good. He stole Star Fox Adventures. He stole Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 from me. And then he borrowed 2 of my games and sold them to two different people. One of which I managed to get back. It was my Jak 3. And the other one I got back, but it was scratched up to such a degree that it was like, did they put it through a blender? And that was my copy of Prince of Persia: Warrior Within. So I never actually got to beat that game. But yeah, I eventually got it back, and after I was able to get more of a patience tolerance for these games, for RPG-esque games, I beat it after like 4 years of owning the game. Ended up being one of my favorite games ever.
50 years alone I've been, thinking of entering the Lord Sanctum without a lantern to light your way. You must be as mad as me! Go and see the shopkeeper. He should be able to help at the right price.
Yep, and this is where you learn that you're going to need a lantern in order to get down there. I've never actually talked to that guy. I didn't know he was crazy as a lark. But yeah, so Star Fox Adventures. Yeah, that's pretty much my experience with it. And once again, like Star Fox Adventures, I usually leave this to like the end of a playthrough, but I'm gonna say it now. I highly recommend if you're looking for a Zelda-esque game with a little bit more character, but not as like massive or as long as like a traditional Zelda game. I do recommend picking this game up. It actually goes by pretty fast, all things considered. Let's see here. Tricky's asleep, so yeah, but I do recommend it just for that alone, because you do have some of the Star Fox-esque elements in there, even if they are downplayed, or I guess they downplayed, put it mildly, even if they are haphazardly put in. But you know, it works. It honestly works, and it does it does what it needs to do in order to convey his plot. It's simple. It's simple. It's definitely babies. It's like Babies for Zelda with Star Fox characters. But yeah, so but I will admit that there are some bits that do get me on my nerves, and I'm trying to figure out if it's more of a Star Fox thing or more of some Rare-esque gimmicks, because Rare is very much a British-based company, so a lot of their humor, a lot of their a Britain-based company, but a lot of their humor, a lot of their gags, and a lot of their character is highly based on that. So as a result, you're going to get a lot of dry humor, a lot of self-deprecating humor, and a lot of mean-spirited humor in a lot of cases. And I'm not the biggest fan of that. Granted, it's toned down as an initial starting factor, at the start of the game, but as you go through, it starts getting a little bit more mean-spirited to the point where I'm just like, I'm not really enjoying this. But luckily, it's few and far between. And I've noticed that with a lot of stories that sometimes they can take the mean-spirited humor and ramp it up to a factor that's like, what was even the point of doing it that extremely? Okay, so let's go ahead and flick this switch here. And try to find, because I'm trying to make as much progress as I can right now, but it's like I need to find some scarabs, and you can't really sell scarabs in this game. Well, you can't really sell items in this game to get scarabs. You have to wait for them to respawn in areas or find the spawn locations, or at least know them all by heart. I don't know them all by heart. So what's here? What do we got here? What do we got here? Another Bombadad. So that gives us 3 continues, so we have 3 times to die. One thing about the Bombadad I will mention is that you're probably never going... Okay, so the max is 15. You're probably never going to need them. You are probably never going to need a Bombadad. Even at like the harshest... Like even at the more... even at the most difficult points in this game, you will probably not die. Now watch me die on like the easiest part in this game. But yeah, because the difficulty scaling in this game is not difficult. The enemies are not that hard, you know. I think the most you'll die on is in a level that, honestly speaking, you really won't need. I think I got to know if I have to do all that, but you're probably not going to, like, you're probably going to die anyway, but you won't lose a Bombadad doing it, if that makes any sense. It's one of those things where it's one of those, like, and we'll get to the section. I'll mention it, but like beyond that, I think the hardest fight you're gonna have are some of the boss fights, and that's like a small sum. There aren't any enemies that really do that much damage to you. You have enough health pickups in the game, like throughout like the adventure, that you're probably never going to worry about health to begin with. And what's the one for here? And yeah, you do a decent amount of damage. Like the focus on this game is very much exploration. You're not going to have to worry about dying or, well, more about combat more than anything else. And I think, and I honestly think that's probably for the best. Okay, crazy.
Ah, a lantern to light your way. Good. Yes, very good. Good, excellent.
Alright, so now we gotta plant. Right, I need to pick up some of these. Excuse me. I need to blow you up. The funny thing is, I know that I always like end up needing these things and just never having them. And it's just like a bad habit I have on every playthrough. Yeah, they don't last very long, so you have to pick them up real fast. So we're gonna have to Plant this here. Well, I do recommend like farming these things first chance you get. Buddy, that's your fault for falling asleep next to it. Now we go down here. And these are white grub tubs. This is a white grub tub fungus. You need to collect 6 of these and feed them to the Queen Earthwalker. And with that being said, this has been Anansi. This has been Star Fox Adventures. And join me in the next one when we get more of these magical healing shrooms for Her Royal Highness. Catch you later!